One. And now it's recording. Go ahead and hit stream, and we'll be on the We'll be on Instagram hopefully in three, two, and one. Go ahead, T.
All right. First question we ask our guests is, who did you pay in your game growing up?
Man, panning my game. Man, when I look back, is one player I can always think about is Cedric Sabalas.
Who?
Oh,
Yeah, you know what?
Lakers or Suns?
Lakers, man. You know
Lakers,
what? He was
yeah.
always the trash man. Always grabbing those rebounds. Obviously on the opposite side of the basket. Anytime the shooters were shooting that ball, but he always just knew where to be.
Mm-hmm.
When that ball goes in or whether it goes out and whatnot. And getting the easy buckets underneath the basket was always something that I played. Growing up as a kid. So yeah, definitely I can. He was obviously a local kid, local player from CalState
Mm-hmm.
Fullerton. So, when he was part of the Lakers, when Eddie Jones and whatnot, he was a guy
Yeah.
that I definitely
Yeah,
looked up
that,
to.
that was a squad. Eddie Jones, him,
Yeah.
Nick Van
Yep.
Exel, Elvin Campbell. Like, yeah, it was a
Yep.
pretty
That
dope
whole crew
squad,
was
man.
there.
Yeah, I remember those LA days. Yep. All right, let's get to the intro, man. What's going on, guys? This is Tito of Coach's Corner. We're in episode 13, and I got my brother Ben, aka Daily B Baller, like always. And yo, we got a special one today, man. We have down south, Southern California representative Fil-Am Nation Select, man. He helping everybody out, all the
oh,
Fil-Am, you know what I'm saying? So what's going on, boss? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just blessed. I'm upright and walking, man. It's a beautiful Sunday today. Actually, a great weekend. Actually, great weather out here in Southern California. So just got some time to coach some basketball and enjoy the weather.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, down south weather is nice, man. Southern California's weather is nice, man.
We
Yeah,
definitely
I
taking
like
it here
it.
in California.
Yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah.
blessed. We're blessed
Yes,
for
we
sure.
are blessed.
Some
Yes, we
crazy
are
stuff going on
blessed.
in the in the country,
Right.
weather-wise, but yeah, we good.
Yeah. How's Southern California now, like with this pandemic going on? Like, are they opening everything up, or are
You
you
know
guys
what?
going back
It's
to normal?
it's starting to slowly open up. People are really just trying to push that button, and really try to see what the government or the agencies, the police department, the health department, what they're
How
gonna
far they'll
do.
go?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like everybody's taking that step and really showing our whole world and our country what we could really do, with still being able to open up and still be able to follow the protocols of what the health department, advises. But I think if people can do that, still continue wearing the mask, I think, we should be on the way of, opening up more businesses back, So, that's one of the things that I really hope and pray that everybody's in good standing is that they can open up their businesses and just live a normal life, man. I just hate to hear the struggles that a lot of people are going through these days, especially financially. Especially our youth. Our kids are going through a lot of stuff, being at home, going to class, online, something that's not out of the norms. So something that we all can pray and hopefully people can come back to normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you. Yeah, because it is harder for them, like especially like because I have two kids. I have a 13-year-old, especially for my 13-year-old. Like it
Yeah,
is harder for him doing the distant learning and stuff like that. Man, it's more like a hand, like not a hands on, but like like a person to person. Like he
absolutely.
learns that way a lot easier. So all right, so who is Cris Gopez? Let everybody know outside of basketball. So when I come up to somebody, be like, "Hey, you know Cris from Fil-Am Nation Select," they gotta tell me like, "Yeah, this is that guy." So
You know what? To answer that question, man, Cris Gopez is just a proud Filipino. I was born in the Philippines, came here when I was 8. Obviously raised by a single mother. Both my mom and dad was separated, but she did a fantastic job raising myself and my brother when we were younger. Fell in love with the game of basketball pretty much at a young age. As soon as my mom put us in a recreational basketball league, and pretty much we played basketball, baseball, football. We played every sport growing up, and so at some point in my life, we just kind of fell in love with the game of basketball just because, you had recreation and then being able to go back home and watch the Lake Show, on channel KCAL 9. That definitely inspired us to, enjoy a game of basketball and, just I'm just here today, man, just trying to make a difference. And, I kind of found my calling and making a difference in a lot of youth lives. And, it's something that I really enjoy, just seeing the outcome of them when they get older. So that's pretty much who I am. I mean, there's nothing really, anything crazy about what I'm doing now, but just sticking in the game of basketball.
Yeah. Like
That's dope,
everything
man.
that you're doing right now is like big because you're helping a lot of like I was like reading up everything about it and stuff like that, and you are helping a lot of kids, a lot of prospect going back home because
Yeah,
like that's another avenue for them to do. Like not everybody has the skills to go to the NBA, but whatever you're doing, you're opening that avenue for them to like explore, like go back home and play back home and stuff like that, and that's big, man. That's pretty dope.
yeah,
You know,
super big.
yeah.
I think, one thing that, a lot of our, families are especially our parents who came from the Philippines, it's always about the opportunities, right? We
Hmm.
come here to America. They came here to America to really seek an opportunity to better their lives, to better their, their kids' lives, and it's something that I never really took it for granted. I pretty much, just like any Filipino families or any household, you come from a third world country generation. It's just one of those environment that you really seek for opportunities, and that's something that I'm doing with basketball. Giving opportunities and showcasing a lot of these Filipino talent, obviously because I'm a proud Filipino. So pretty much, it's something that I'm really, really, it's something that really makes a big a big smile in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge, man. I think there's not really a lot of programs out there that promote it the way you do. From what I've seen, I mean, to be honest, like you're one of the first that I've seen promote it the way that you do, and
Mm-hmm.
give kids the knowledge that they need to know in order for them to understand like there are opportunities out there for them, outside of this country, to go back home, get a good education at the same time. I mean, we hear people talk about it every so often within our families and within the community, but the approach that you have, especially utilizing the sport of basketball and the other things that you do, I think that's big, for the communities, like Tito saying. So I know you say it's like, hey, it's not that big. It's huge for
Yeah,
some of these
it
kids
is. It
to
is
even
huge. Yeah.
know, like to go out there. Like I remember, growing up myself, and hearing that kind of stuff when I went to the Philippines. You got like I'm like 13 years old with a basketball in my hand. Oh, the college, they will accept him, like,
Yeah,
and you're just like, you're a kid not really thinking about it. Your parents are want you to be a nurse or a lawyer kind of stuff, and we talk about that goal all the time. But to know that there's people out there like yourself that are now really pushing and still letting kids know like, hey, there is other opportunities too. I think that's huge. So don't
absolutely.
never want to sell that short, man. That's big for our community, 100%.
Yes,
No,
it is.
thank you.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, as far as who I am too, when it comes to opportunities, going from LA, to, pretty much, I always grew up in a public school environment, and so my last 3 years of high school, I ended up going to a private school for the reasons of basketballs and good academics. But again, it's the opportunity that I was given, so I
Mm-hmm.
got to play at a very high level in high school, then end up going to play college basketball, end up going to Cal State Maritime, which is up in Vallejo, California.
Mm-hmm.
Had 4 great years out in Vallejo, and really enjoyed the Bay Area. Just again, man, just when I say the word opportunities, I felt like I kept seeking for that, and really trying to see what opportunities are really out there, and obviously the more option that you have, the better, decision that you can make down the road for yourself. And whether you make that decision and be able to go right or left, I mean, that's something that you're gonna eventually, understand what the outcome eventually is. But after college, my cousin Alex and I, we got an opportunity to play in the NBA Summer Pro League, where they
Oh.
had the NBA division and they also had a free agency division. So we got to experience, a pro level where, just any rookies, or I'm sorry, not rookies, but veteran players that were looking to play in the summertime. you know, we got to play against those veterans, and we got to play with college players who are currently playing the college level.
Mhm.
So with those opportunities, that took me back home to the Philippines. You know, it took him back to the Philippines. But for myself, in regards to my experience, you know, I got to play in the PBL 2 years, and then, you know, I got to be part of a PBA teams where I was with Santa Lucia and, you know,
Mhm.
Talking Tex, and it was just more of a, you know, got to experience the whole, you know, just the whole pro level. You know, I didn't get the experience that everybody was able to get in terms of playing, but you know, it wasn't the best of the best experience. But what I could say out of that experience, it was a grind that I could share to a lot of athletes that it's not easy. You know,
Yeah.
it's not something that, you know, everybody. I thought. I mean, I had this big old ego going in, thinking like, oh man, I went to the, you know, I played in the States, college, I played at the pro level. You know what? Maybe I can go back and dominate. But you definitely got to have some type of humbleness, you know, and
Yeah.
something that if I could, you know, advise kids, you got to make sure and understand that basketball is played everywhere, you know,
Mhm.
the talent level is everywhere. So, you know, you got to go with an open mind, you know, going back home and really understand what Philippine basketball is even today. And that's why we're, you know, here we're able to educate that through our platform, Fil-Am Nation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Nice, man.
even though like what you said, like you didn't really like experience that playing and stuff like that, but you got the background, you got the grind, and that you can share that, like what you said, you share it to like other kids or other people and stuff like that, so they'll know what to expect when, like, you know, when they get to that level, and which is
absolutely.
big. Yep. So
Nice,
yeah.
man. No, that's
Yep.
clean. That I think you know, just having that experience is huge, and you being able to share that with these kids too, is a blessing, 100%. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I said, the mission that I'm looking at the mission right now, and I was looking at it earlier today, and just kind of going through it and soaking it all in, and I'm just like, man, that's just unique. You know, again, you don't really see that. And then now to know that you have that background at that level,
Mhm.
I mean, that's just it just adds to the meat of the potatoes, you know.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how old were you when you first picked up the orange ball? When you decided to, like, I'm gonna go play basketball. I like this game.
You know what? It's funny, man. Like I share this story all the time. I never really picked up an orange ball at first. It was really when I was watching the Lake Show, and I can remember my brother and I, we would um, we would always put up a basketball inside our bedroom. You know, because when we first came out here, obviously we didn't really know where to go, where to play and whatnot. So we made our own hoop inside our room, and that hoop was basically a shoebox. You know, cut the underneath the shoebox, and then we got a maybe one or two paper bag from the supermarket, crumble it up, put a bunch of tape on it,
Oh,
and then
damn.
basically we were acting like we were playing basketball, you know.
Yeah.
So that already, you know, itself gave me the dream of, you know, seeing myself playing on, you know, the basketball court. But if you were to ask me what age, I want to say probably 8 or 9 years old. You know, as soon as my mom really just put us in the basketball league recreation. You know, so
Okay.
yeah, so it was a fun experience, man. I mean, obviously we were playing basketball, we were playing baseball, but you know, fell in love with the game of basketball because of just the whole Lake Show, man. So I can't thank enough of the Lakers show, man. Just watching Magic and you know,
Mhm.
I remember when you know, like I was sharing you about Cedric Sabalas, he was just somebody that I really looked up to with Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel, Eldon Campbell, Anthony Peeler, you
Yeah,
know,
Anthony Peeler.
Dan
Yeah.
Perkins, you know.
Yeah.
So so with
Yeah.
that, you know, it was definitely you know, the year when I said, you know what, I love this game, man. I really do. You know, it's fun, and you know, you get to play with guys that you know you can have fun with. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when you said like you guys created that, like, you know, out of the shoebox and put it in your
yeah,
room. I grew up back home. I grew up in the Philippines. I came here when I was like 13, right?
yeah,
And I remember growing up, I used to grab a hanger and like a metal hanger and then
yeah.
shade up as a basketball,
Oh,
put it
there you
right
go.
on my window
Yeah,
and just stick it right there. And that's how I play basketball inside the house. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You gotta be creative. If you love the
You
game,
have to be creative, man.
you just get creative. Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty about, just thinking outside the box and really understanding where your mind can kind of, navigate you, and so,
Yes.
and I can share you later down the road my whole Kobe experience. But when you look at that type of conversation I had with Kobe, he had the same mentality, man, just the vision in his head and just the imagination and the dream, man. You gotta let the mind think, man. And so,
Yeah.
that's where you start getting a little more creative in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's
So tell us
crazy.
about your high school basketball journey.
High school, all my life, like I said, man, was always public school. Obviously, it was always back here in Los Angeles. We had a bus system because pretty much we didn't, all the schools in LAUSD was pretty much packed.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they had to bus out kids out to the valley or out in the west side. I was very fortunate to be able to go to a school in Bel Air, up in the mountains, up in the hills, kind of like Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I went to a school up in Santa Monica, so all public school. And then after my first year of public school, high school, it was just an experience where I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a tough road for me. I mean, there was a lot of great players in LA. And then it just so happened, man, a coach was recruiting for a private school out in Burbank, which is a city probably about 45 minutes away from Los Angeles. And pretty much his whole goal was to develop a program where we can win and win championships. And he did that his couple of first years when he was there. And then he brought us in with a couple other recruits. And then my last 3 years, man, it was probably the most awesome experience, just being able to, number one, experience a private school. I mean, we had the uniforms,
Yeah.
we had the school that I actually went to, Bell Jeff. We actually had a bunch of Disney kids that had a Nickelodeon. It was a school pretty much in Burbank, where Burbank is it's a community where they do all the filming of NBC and ABC and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of celebrities at at our school. And so with that, it was just fun to interact with them. You see them at school and then you see them on TV, and then the beautiful thing about it was, obviously, it was a Catholic school. So wearing the uniform, seeing a bunch of Filipinos that I've never seen in my whole life. I mean, my whole experience life, it was just all a mix of different ethnicity. I come to this private school, next thing you know, it was, I want to say 40% Filipino.
Oh,
And I was
dang.
like, it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I was at home. And so with that, it put me in an environment basketball wise to really felt like, I was gonna get that support, and which I did. A lot of my, schoolmates were always there supporting at the games. When you have somebody who's a baller at school, they kind of look after you and like, hey man, let's get that win next game, and so I said, hey, if you're there at the game, I'm gonna play hard for you. So to have your school behind you, and to see a bunch of Filipinos supporting you, that definitely was an experience of a lifetime. And my 3 years was absolutely fantastic. The relationship I had with the teachers, the relationship I had with my counselors, even the whole administrative staff. I won this award called the Bruno Awards, and pretty much it was just an all around academics, leadership, and sports. And so that was one of the main things that I really try to set an example for my people that was part of my class, and just really try to show that leadership role. And just grateful for the opportunity that I received in high school. So
That's cool.
But as far as the basketball side, it was amazing. I mean, like, we had some really tough, league play in terms of Harvard Westlake. There was Grant High School where Gilbert Arenas went.
I was gonna say Grant.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
So,
Agent Zero. Yeah.
Yeah. Harvard Westlake, they had the twins. They were like 6'10". They were just banging on our
The Collins twins, Jason and
Yep. Jason and Jaron. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely a tough league we had, but definitely an experience where the competition was high, you know.
Yeah.
So and that led me to you know, being able to be looked at in college. Obviously, I was a player that didn't really score much, but I was a defender. You know, I was a defender that pretty much took some pride on defense. You know, if I wasn't getting easy buckets after a made basket, I'm gonna deny the next player that's trying to receive the ball. You know, and obviously I had the eye for you know, who was that player receiving the ball, bringing it down, and so I just locked up. You know, I put all my energy out playing defense. You know, and pretty much that's how I scored, was playing some pretty good defense. You know,
Yeah.
but after that, you know, playing high school and then travel ball, it definitely complemented each other throughout my years, and then that's where I got an opportunity to be looked at from different colleges, and you know, every kid's dream is to play Division One. You know, my dream was UCLA. That was an experience that I had in junior high, where I got to really experience Poly Pavilion, sneaking in the gym every day after junior high school. But you know, the dream was there. You know, obviously we dreamed big, um, but at some point in my career, I already knew, like, you know what, I don't belong at a Division One, just because, as you know, you got to be athletic, man. You got to be quicker. You got to be faster. You got to be bigger. You know, but I was this Filipino kid, man, that just played hard. You know, I played hard, but the number one thing that I really can take out of my career was I was coachable. You know, I was
Yeah.
definitely coachable. And I think that's the number one thing that every coach wants, man. If you're coachable,
Mhm.
you're able to, you know, execute the X's and O's and what the game plan is, then, you know, I mean, it makes it much easier for a coach to want to play you, you know. And
Yeah.
so from there, that's when I went on and had an opportunity to play college basketball right after high school. So,
Yeah. That's cool.
That's dope. Hey, that's
Yeah, that
dope, man.
is.
Bro, hey, Tito, I think we got like the pinnacle of like the perfect kid, right? Like he was good with his teachers, good with his counselors, coachable.
Yeah.
I mean, what could you say about that? You know, I think
Exactly.
that's crazy because I mean, now is that something that you try to relate to your students, like your kids, because you know you're dealing with a lot of kids. Like if you go to this guy's to Fil-Am Nation Select on Instagram and check out their YouTube and see all the different types of kids and you know the amount of people that you yeah, that really look up you mentor basically.
yeah,
I'm sure it's something one of the things that you try your best to relay down to them is that same type of mentality, right?
yeah,
Because
absolutely. I
yeah,
think the message that I really try to set forward is asking every kid, man, who, you know, do they have a role model? You know, I know for me, I had, obviously, aside from Kobe Bryant being a big role model in my life, I think my mother was a big role model. You know, aside from just the basketball, I saw what I saw in my mom. If I could share one word, man, is the grit. You know, just, you know, being able to raise two kids on her own, have two jobs. You know, I never really even got to experience Disneyland, you know, growing up, man. I had to grow up fast, you know, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of kids out there, you know, probably have the same experience where you got to grow up fast. You got to wash dishes. You got to do your laundry because mom is not home. You got to make sure you do your homework. And then when I looked at my mother, you know, it was the role model of it. It was just more of an experience of, you know, putting yourself in a situation where what hard work really meant, you know, and what sacrifice what really meant. And you take those, you know, those character, traits, and you really try to instill it within yourself. And when I tell kids, you know, who your role models are, you know, I always ask them, what can you take away from your role model? What's one thing you could take away? And mainly that's one of the biggest things that I really try to, you know, input in their mindset, you know, to really understand, you know, what their whole focus is growing up as a young individual, you know, because maturity, I think, is the biggest key factor in life, you know. And without maturity, man, you know, man, for all I know, the minds of these kids now in this generation, it just be all
they're
over the
all over the
place, you
place.
know.
Tell me. Yeah.
That's
So
100%,
Yes.
man. I
Yeah.
like that, man. What is the what's like one of the main traits that you hear kids tell you that they try to take away from the people they look up to?
you know what, every common word that comes out, man, it's always hard work. But I always ask, what does that mean? what does that word hard work mean? Um, and there was one kid I can recall from my conversation. When they say hard work, it's more of the digging, the digging of understanding what it means to have a shovel in your hand and digging that hole. If you're trying to get down and create something for yourself or bury a treasure, whatever it is, it's about having a shovel in your hand and digging, because you know what it means when you dig a hole. A lot of times you're pretty much under the sun. It's hot, and you get dirty,
Yep.
as some dirt could be hard rock, and so sometimes you take a break. And when you define the word hard work to that kid, it defined it in where they understood that, nothing's gonna be easy. No one's gonna hand a silver platter in your hand. It's understanding that, you really gotta go out there and go for what you want to, no matter what the circumstances are. Whether it's raining, whether it's hot, whether there's a storm, whatever it is, you gotta pick your shovel up and keep digging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Facts. I like that too. That's dope.
Man, we got that's some Tito advice right there, man. I hear it. I like that.
I do. Yeah. I'm gonna take that, soak it in, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Down.
The
Yeah,
shovel.
me too, right? Yeah, shovel.
I'm writing it down. Hold
Right.
up. Let me write it down real quick. Shovel, keep digging.
Yeah.
Weather doesn't matter. Dig. Hell yeah. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I got
Me
my son
too.
behind me right now. I'm like, hey, you hear that?
Yeah. Hey, that is dope though. Like, what I'm saying, you ask them, like, what is the definition of hard work to them? Not just like, not just saying hard work, like, but what does that mean to you?
What does it mean?
Yeah, that's a good ass question to ask.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep
whatever these kids gives you, you want to expand that word. You want to be able to create a definition behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The word sacrifice, obviously, there's a lot of things that can come into mind, but when kids better understand what the word means, you can kind of now help them navigate, their lives, and now it gives you a sense of purpose, why you're doing it, because that's the question you got to ask yourself is the whys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing it? What's the purpose? So.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
true, man.
Me
Sometimes
too.
and that's the thing. Like when you ask them a question like that deep, sometimes they'll just say something like generic, and then
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hard work, teamwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Damn. Like,
Yeah,
shoot, all
right.
right.
It's that question, why?
Yeah.
Like, why do you need to do that? Why?
Yeah.
Like, then
Yeah.
they get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you help them find the answer, especially
Yeah.
I'm sure with you, Cris, when you help them find the answer because you've been where they've been in their shoes, like I'm sure it means a lot more to them when they like a light goes off when they find that
Mm.
answer of the expanding on that. So that's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah. That is really dope. Yeah. So, college basketball. So, was there any other college plays that you was gonna go to, or was it this the only one that you said I'm gonna go to this school?
You know what? I had a couple options locally and outside of the state. One of the farthest state university I had was Park University out of Missouri. I took a visit. And one thing I could say, man, if you're from the West Coast, especially from Cali or whether it be San Francisco or the Bay Area or Los Angeles, man, you just don't want to get away from that West Coast side, So I took a visit to Missouri, went to Park University. It was beautiful. But I remember asking the coach, man, how cold does it get out here? And I remember him telling me it gets really cold. He goes, from where you gonna walk from your dorm to the gym, you're gonna have to be walking around snows. And I'm like, oh man, you know what? Do I want to walk around snow? I said probably not. So that's one of the decisions why I didn't probably go back east. And then I had a couple small colleges in Southern California: Occidental, Whittier College, Concordia University. Just probably around 6 or 7 other colleges. But what really struck Cal Maritime was the ship that they had on our campus. and I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but we have a ship, like a real government ship.
Yeah,
That
because maritime is like the ship, right?
yeah,
Maritime. Yeah.
maritime is
Yeah.
basically dealing with the maritime industry, whether you're doing
Mhm.
import export, if you want to be an engineer on the ship, whether you want to work on a tugboat, whether you want to work on those oil tankers or those
Mhm.
big rigs where they're taking these containers from one country to the other. I was on the business side. I was a business major. Actually, the program that I was part of, it was called Global Logistics, and so it was a program that pretty much kind of started growing after the year I started it. And I remember USC adopting the program themselves. So the logistics, obviously, now it's everywhere now, right? And it's just better understanding, forecasting,
Yeah.
understanding, transportation, understanding, warehousing, understanding manufacturing. So all that is all part of the logistics. So I took that course in my career. But what really intrigued me about the whole CalState Maritime Academy was two things. One was the ship. I found out that it's going to take you around the world, which my sophomore year I went to Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Tahiti, Nuka Hiva, and the Marquesas Island. Which
Wow.
these
Wait, that
places over here, man, these are places that you pay big bucks to go to.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just
So wait,
said,
that
yeah.
ship takes you there?
Yeah, so the ship. So the ship is a training ship.
Okay.
So if you're an engineer, you're gonna be in the engine room learning how to, facilitate in the engine room. If you're in marine transportation, which you want to be a captain of a ship or a deck handler or anything that's having to do with the ship, you pretty much do the stuff around the ship. Um, and then on the business side, we were in the classrooms majority of the times. So they had classrooms on the ship, so it was a really cool
Crazy.
experience, man. I
That
mean,
is dope.
yeah. So if you're an engineer or in marine transportation, you pretty much have to do 3 tours on the ship, so 3 summers. So if you're on the
Oh
business,
gosh.
all you have to do is complete 1 tour. So
Why
I
ain't
did.
nobody tell me about this place?
I know. I was just like, then you went around the world to all these places. Shit.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's tight.
and the great
That
thing
is
about it, man, it
dope.
was a Cal State system.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I can recall, I never spent my scholarship money on the books that they gave me. And so what I did, someone taught me that, you just go to the library and you can rent all the books that's in the Cal State system. So you go to the library, ask the librarian, hey, is this book available? And they'll look it up and see, all right, Cal State Long Beach has it, or Cal State LA has it. So whatever within the system has it, then you can rent it out. So that was one way
Yeah.
of me saving
Cheat
that money.
code.
Yeah.
Straight up. See, hey, see when you good with your teachers, when you good with your counselors, you go get a cheat code.
Yeah, man, that's all part of it, man. That was all part of
Yeah.
the blueprint. But the experience itself at that college was amazing. I mean, the beauty thing about it, it was an academy, so we had to wear a military uniform. It was a naval uniform, so we even had our last name on our uniform. When we graduated, we even had to dress whites, just like we were
Mhm.
in the U.S. Navy, because you had an opportunity. You had an opportunity to go into the U.S. Navy as an officer. So if you finish
Okay.
school, they had an officers program that you can go into. But at least the good thing about it, you've already learned the military system of, standing watch, being able to, understand, what an inspection looks like. Because we were being inspected, you got to make sure you had no, hair on the under
Facial
your
hair,
chin,
yeah.
man. The sideburns was clean.
Certain
The
haircut.
yeah, the shoe was shine, everything. So that itself, I mean, obviously, the whole discipline factor continued in my life, and after school, man, it really gave me a life where I better understood what life was going to be giving me down the road. I was prepared, and so yeah, thanks to Maritime, man. I can say I'm a proud key hauler, man. So I'm very active in the sports basketball side, where I still do my donation every year, and just really support the basketball program. So
That's good. That's good. So did you go to that college due to scholarship for education or scholarship for basketball?
both actually.
Both.
So at that time, they didn't have a lot of money for athletics. So thank God I had a good GPA, a solid It wasn't great. It was a solid. It was, I had a 3.5 GPA.
That's good.
Yeah. But thank God, I didn't really do great on my SAT scores. So the balance of both the SAT and, my GPA really balanced out. So, because I was an athlete, because I was in leadership in high school, obviously the counselors, whoever the admission directors were, they obviously looked at it as a plus. And obviously I was being recruited for basketball. So with everything put together, it really helped me to get accepted and get an academic and an athletic scholarship. So, getting grants and scholarship money, majority of the scholarship money I kind of put in my pocket, but it was a good experience. It was definitely a good experience. The only downfall I could say, if I can share it to all the athletes out there, don't ever take a loan out, even if it's small, because, you thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to make some good money, why not get like a $3,000 loan, because, you needed some money in your pocket.
Yeah.
But thank God, it's my loans are almost over. I'm down to the last couple thousands, because, every year I want to, I end up borrowing money. I remember I came from a single parent, and so never really had money. And when they gave me that plan of, hey, you can take some money out, a couple thousand, I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, green light.
So instead of credit cards, it was the best thing was to take loans out,
Yeah.
So, because they'll hit you on those credit cards, right?
Oh yeah.
So thank God I never really got into that whole credit card life,
Yeah.
So
that's good, man. Yeah. Hey, when I got my first credit cards, man, with my name on, I was like, oh, free money?
Yeah.
Damn it.
I know, right? They make
I wish
it
I would have
sound
seen
good.
this podcast like 20 years
Right.
ago,
Right? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's crazy. Another testament of student athlete. You know what I'm saying? So he was a student and an athlete at the same time, combined that, and then took him around the world. It's crazy. Yep. So another testament of that. Yep. Yeah. Yep. That's good. That's cool, man. Yep. You got anything, Ben?
No, man, I think, like you said, that's cool. I mean, I'm sure that, like I said earlier about you mentoring these kids, that's just another side of it, man. Like you mentor them on the basketball side, but then also and we talked about the student side too as well. But then even that college life, and then also the fact that you went to that college and how it kind of gave you that structure. I mean, that's just another piece of the pie. If these kids growing up understand that type of a structure, put it in their life, I mean, that's just almost a guarantee. If as long as you have that structure, whatever you want to do, you're going to be able to achieve a lot of great things. So I mean, that's top tier type stuff, man. It's definitely top tier stuff. So Fil-Am Select, man.
Yeah, right. So our next question: when did you decide that you want to coach and educate kids in basketball?
You know what? After going back to the Philippines, I spent 4.5 years out there. Like I said earlier, it was definitely a grind, and I did some reflection, throughout my years, especially when I came back and I went back and forth. I started training some kids. Just in the summertime, because obviously they were like, yo, how was the Philippines? Can you help my son better understand the game? And I was like, yeah, no problem. So when I would come back year after year, within that 4.5 years, I was always helping out kids, just kind of mentorship and do some extra training and whatnot. And then at that point, when I finally decided to tell myself, you know what, I'm going to just go back home, man. I got my degree. I got to experience this whole professional level here in the Philippines. I got a taste of it. Just gonna go back home and see what God has planned for me. So I went back home and, I started looking for a job, and, I was trying to actually figure out, should I go into the logistics world and just go straight to, making, $80,000-$90,000 at an 8 to 5 job, or do I do something that's going to be fun, And so I remember my first 2-3 years after coming back home from the Philippines, it was definitely a learning curve for me, because I had to really figure out what did God really want me to do, you know? And so, so I got in, I just so happened I got into education. You know, I went to education. I was around, I remember my first job was, I was a PE teacher in a private high school. You know, I was doing PE, and then, you know, I moved on to another high school. And then at some point I ended up spending about, I want to say 9 years at an elementary level. And that's where it really started beginning, you know, the process of, you know, what I was in love with, and the love for seeing kids growth, you know. And it all started with just mentorship. You know, it started with just showing kids, you know, what their lives could be like if they stuck to, you know, being coachable and being teachable at school. I was in a very tough elementary level school in Compton, California, you know, city of Compton. I was actually at Barack Obama Charter School um, for a very long time, and you know, just doing that, and that's when I started my whole program, Edge Basketball, and I started it with my cousin Alex Cabagnot, who's obviously playing in the PBA
Yes,
right now.
PBA. Yep.
He's 15 years now. So Alex and I started it, and obviously being here in the United States, in Los Angeles, you know, we started in Rolling Heights, California, and then you know, it started slowly growing, man. I mean, kids after kids, man, they just, you know, parents didn't really care about who I was. They didn't care what my background was, you know. All they cared about was, does this coach know how to coach my kid, you know, show that mentorship. And then you know, 10 years later, man, it just became such a big AAU club. You know, Alex and I did a camp in the Philippines. You know, he himself did some clinics also in the Philippines. And then, yeah, man. And as soon as people started understanding, you know, what a background was, then they were pretty happy where they were, and so they stuck with the program. And you know, I had some long term families that really stuck with the program, where their kids got to really learn and understand the game of basketball. And as of today, the program Edge Basketball has been up and running for 14 years now. 14 years, going on to 15 years. But in those years, I was able to help produce about, I want to say, 32 college kids. Out of those 32 college players, a lot of them were Filipino as well. There was both men and women, high school kids that went to college. So that's when I kind of figured out to myself, you know what, this is my calling. This is where I'm going to be able to make a big impact. You know, imagine I was working, I was a PE teacher, and then I was still running Edge Basketball. So pretty much my plate was full, you know. And people always ask me, man, how do you do it? How do you go from work to coaching at night and coaching on the weekends? And you know, it was, again, something that I truly enjoyed. Obviously, basketball was something that's, you know, put a big heart, you know, just a love for it. So so with that, I stuck to it, and then that's when Fil-Am Nation kind of opened up. You know, I went back to the Philippines. I went to a championship series for Alex's 7-game series against Magnolia, and then him and I, we prayed on it, and you know, we really just took the time to reflect on what's next. You know, and I always ask myself, what could I do to a community that I'm part of, which is obviously Filipinos, to be able to help them and educate them. And that's where Alice and I came up with the idea of creating Fil-Am Nation. So from being a teacher to starting Edge Basketball, being around the youth, making a difference, and not only just the kids side, but also the parent side, because you know, they got to trust you, right? And so the goal is, you got to really kind of give them a structure where they have to better understand, because they're entrusting in you to really navigate their kids to the level that they're trying to go to. But more importantly, it was always about teaching the fundamentals. Nothing crazy, you know, especially what you see these days. And so yeah, so we catered to those kids that really came out to work hard every day, and you know, we eventually transitioned to one day Fil-Am Nation, you know, and that started literally the first day we started was this year, actually January. But the idea was born in 2019 September, or no, it was October October of 2019. So that's kind of like how it all kind of, came together. So
That's crazy.
That's a journey, man.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
And yeah, kind of help you out too, being a teacher and stuff like that, and then going to the edge basketball, like dealing with
Absolutely.
other, like kids, and yeah, step by step, man, like
Yeah.
everything else. Yep.
And one of the biggest thing that really helped me a lot was obviously my education, being organized. And in any operation, obviously running a club program, you got to have the logistics side of it, because you got to understand, facilities, you got to understand, the operation of, paperwork, you got to understand, the monetary end side of it, you got to understand the business side of it. So there was a lot of different factors that came into play when obviously getting my degree, getting a good education, being raised by a great mother of two, that really humbled me and really put me in a situation where, it really helped me understand and focus on the things I really wanted to accomplish, And so with Edge Basketball now being on my plate and just Fil-Am Nation being on my plate, now I can really focus on, the growth of the kids on my club and also the Filipino community that I'm really trying to, create in terms of the movement, proud Filipinos.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything, man?
Nah, man. We on the come up.
Yeah.
Filipinos on the come up,
it
man.
is. Yeah.
Doing some big things out here.
Yeah.
Filipinos are definitely on a come up, man. It's just there's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
Someone just got to put us on the map, and I hope to be that advocate for it, man. And that's the goal. That's the goal with Fil-Am Nation.
Yeah, I think there's a whole I'm with you on that, man. I think that because I've been around a lot of kids and youth playing at the parks and those kinds of things, and they all have the same story. Well, nowadays it's different. Like a lot of these kids, some of these kids get turned off by the fact that their parents are so adamant about them becoming, the next PBA star, or playing overseas now. Whereas when, my generation and yours too, Tito, growing up, it was a little bit different. It was almost the opposite, like put the dreams away. But I think having somebody that has that mentality where you can kind of organize those thoughts for them and prepare them, I think that's huge. But yeah, man, Filipinos are definitely on the come up. I see a lot of kids doing some big things. The Filipino kids now are a lot bigger than they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My kids, I'm guessing they're probably going to be a lot taller than me. All my little cousins and stuff. All the we see the kids in high school out here. They're like 6'1", 6'2", like 15, 16 years old. So it's crazy, man. And we were struggling to get to 5'10". My sister looking at over there, like, nah, man.
I already knew when I was going up, it wasn't gonna be. What I'm saying? I already knew. So,
how tall are you, Cris? How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Damn.
I would say, as my back start hurting a little more as you get older, about 5'11" and a half.
A little bit.
But I try to stand tall when I can. But the older you get, it's just you get a little shorter by the inch.
Yeah. Hey, so what was it that got you to 6 foot? Was it genes, or you just drank a lot of milk, like they always tell us?
I don't know if you guys recall this, but there was always this hype, man, about getting toilet.
Oh yeah. You have to do it like right when you
do that
born.
at
Like,
13 years old. Yeah. And sure enough, my mom took us back to the Philippines. We got circumcised, man, and we just, But what I could say growing up is, you gotta feed your kids, man, some Big Macs, man.
Right.
Growth hormones in it.
Yeah. I always kid around with young kids, man. It's like, you gonna eat the chicken nuggets or the hamburgers? They're like, what do you mean, coach? Well, the chicken, which is bigger, the chicken or the cows? Hey,
that's a fact. Man, let me get that notebook real quick and write that down too. Damn, dig, eat, Big
luckily
Mac.
we're recording this so we can go back. I was like, oh, that's what he said. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Because it's true though. With the food quality that they have these days, man, you don't know what's being injected But what I could say is that was definitely a big help, man. My mom took us out to McDonald's every time on a Friday. Just kept eating like double
That's
Big Macs, man, and just we enjoyed it. Value meals, double cheeseburgers, you
Yeah.
just name it, man. So we weren't really big on the chicken nuggets.
that's dope, man. Hey,
That
I
is
like that.
dope.
We
That
did.
is
We had a
dope.
lot of we had a lot of
Yeah.
McDonald's growing up too. So I
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. You know what? I'm gonna go buy some McDonald's later tonight for my
There you
kids.
go.
Better eat the Big
Yeah.
Mac. Get that
Right?
Travis Scott.
I like Carl's Jr. So
There
Carl's
you
Jr.
go.
burger is
Hey,
like
that
the
works.
bomb. So yep.
That works.
Yeah,
That's good. Good
that's
advice. Good
good.
advice.
Yeah,
All right.
that is good advice. Yeah. So you got anything, Ben? You want to go to the
Um.
next?
Yeah. Next segment. We talked a little bit about Fil-Am Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Already. But uh, if somebody were to come up, I guess you could say and just say, what is your program all about? In
Yeah.
maybe a quick elevator pitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. You know what?
what would you
I
tell them?
kind of want to dig a little bit into it. If you guys don't mind.
No.
Yeah.
Fil-Am Nation is all about the exposure and the educational component. I think one of the biggest thing that a lot of people miss, especially especially executing this whole idea about promoting Filipino athletes, really is the team that you put yourself around with. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that's part of it, from my designer who's designing the whole pictures and the interview layouts and all that, from people like Coach Riddell, who does a lot of the recruiting and talking to the college coaches back home in the Philippines, from people like Jeff DeSato, who's my camp director, to Alex and I just talking about what the next step is. And I pretty much, obviously because I'm the founder, I pretty much put it all together, and really take that idea and execute it. But the whole main purpose of Fil-Am Nation, and as you can see, is it doesn't say basketball or entertainment, whatever it is. It just says Fil-Am Nation. That's the whole, around the U.S., right? And so the idea really is all about giving that exposure, which no one really doesn't know too much about Philippine basketball unless you're in the world. And if you're not, this is a great platform where people can just, view the page, view the website, and they can get more information on who is Filipino American, who has that Filipino lineage in them. And as you can see, there's a lot of them. Kie Clark at Virginia, University of Virginia. You got Remy Martin at Arizona State. You have Jared Lucas at Oregon State. Just there's another girl, Vanessa De Jesus, who just signed with Duke. She's at Duke right now. You have Lexi Marks at Boise State, Leigh McIntosh at Cal Berkeley, Caleb Padilla at UPenn. You got Coach Brian Camacho, an assistant coach at Cal State Long Beach. You have Coach Brian Rosario, and Coach Grace Rica Franca at Pepperdine. So from the players to the coaches that are out there, obviously I didn't mention any high school yet, but those are just, to name a few, that are just super involved in the game of basketball that are Filipino. And just like today, we came across two brothers. One of them plays for Holy Cross, and the other one plays for University of Michigan. And those are the Wade brothers, And so there's just so many out there that are hooping, but nobody knows it, And now with this platform, parents and players are excited now. The fact that they are gonna get some type of exposure, and that's the whole purpose of this. And what we do is that we do regional camps, regional events around the U.S., around Canada, around the UK, around Italy, around Australia, around New Zealand. And we really try to find the top basketball players. And when we do, towards the end of the year, we have what's called the summit. The summit will then bring all the top players together under one roof, from fourth grade boys and girls all the way up to 12th grade boys and girls. So now we're able to identify who are the top players, the up and coming, and this gives a resource to the Philippine coaches back home for the national level and for the collegiate level to really get that information versus always asking somebody, hey, whenever you find somebody, can you just let us know if, meron kang kilala sa mga, players, so it's almost kind of like, you're entrusting some people that may not even have no resource themselves. So with this platform, it's a resource for the country, of the Philippine country, to really start identifying who the top players are, from the grassroots all the way up to the collegiate level. Yeah. And with that being said, we want to also educate them in the paperwork process. There's a lot of different scenarios that, players could be in. For example, if, let's say, one of your kids, obviously, if you were born, Coach, you were born in the Philippines, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you were born in the Philippines, and let's just say, you haven't got your American citizenship, and your child was born already, then you've already passed that lineage to your son. Mm-hmm. Now, if you became an American citizen before he was born, and then obviously he was born, then now you would have to file for dual citizenship, and he would have to file for dual citizenship, versus him just filing for dual citizenship because you passed it already, while he was born. So there's a lot of different scenarios that we're helping families understand what the process looks like when it comes to getting dual citizenship and being able to play back home in the Philippines. Obviously, the goal is to get their citizenship before 16 years old. But obviously, there's that assistance that needs to be done by us to be able to help them be educated. But overall, it's just not basketball. We're utilizing basketball to drive everything else. By next year, we want to start identifying the top volleyball player, the top soccer player, the top tennis player, the top golfer that are Filipino, and now this is going to really create, just a culture of seeing like, man, there is a lot of talent out there. I have a niece who's at USC. She's a tennis player. She's going to go pro next year, but she was born here, but mom is full Filipino. Dad is full Russian. So when you look at that mix, I mean, she can either represent the Russian country or the Philippine country, one or the other. But the beauty about all that is she was born in America, so she can represent any of those three countries. Yeah. But again, it's just giving that resource and that opportunity, right? We talked about opportunity to really better give them the options wherever they feel, who wants them. I mean, that's every kid's dream, is that they're going to want a coach who really wants them to play for them. So that's really what the platform is all about, man, is creating opportunities and giving them the exposure. At the end of the day, I know there's an entertainment side of Fil-Am. There's a Fil-Am organizations out there that are focusing on entertainment, beauty pageant, and all that good stuff. We want to focus on all the sports, and if we can do that, I think it's just be a wonderful thing. One of the main big projects I'm working on right now is, are you guys familiar with the McDonald's All-American? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're working in talks right now with Jollibee. So we're gonna have Jollibee all Filipino All-Star.
Yeah, that is dope. That's dope. Yeah.
So, we want people like yourself to be the voters of the top athletes. We want news reporters, news article to head that piece of voting, and we can obviously get the community involved as well to vote. But you know how every big event, they always got the expertise, right? The expertise that has an idea of who the best players are, the sports writers and whatnot, and then you have the supporters, the community that are obviously watching all the time and seeing who the top players are. So that's what we're trying to create. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're just mimicking what the American culture has created and trying to promote what Philippine talent is all about.
Yes.
So
yeah,
That
is
is
dope.
that is. I was gonna say exactly what you gonna say. That is dope, bro. Like, damn, that's crazy.
That
Told you we
is.
coming, man.
Yeah, we coming.
Nice to see people like C,
Yeah.
man. We coming, bro.
Yes,
That's big.
sir.
That's big.
Yeah.
Jollibee.
Jolly, hey,
Hey,
man.
that's some
That
smart stuff,
is,
man.
yeah, that is, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
because
think,
All American is like one of the best, like, that's
yeah,
where everybody came from. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
everyone.
LeBron,
Q
that's what they
Rich,
showcase.
LeBron,
yeah,
like, Telfair, like Arenas, like Steven,
yep,
like everybody came from all
yep,
McDonald's. Now you have a
absolutely,
Jollibee, All
yeah,
American.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that
Jollibee,
that,
exposure for us. Yep.
yeah,
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 you know,
that's
that's
dope.
gonna be
Yeah.
crazy, man. That's crazy how you guys. I know you guys said you didn't reinvent the wheel, but the way that you guys are going about it is really 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 tight, man. And the fact that the way that you put it, it's like a I don't want to say like a farming system, but it's it's an opportunity, like you said, for scouts and those kinds of things in the Philippines to see the talent that's out here without the whole worrying about that middleman, like you said,
yeah,
who could be a little bit biased,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
So now they can just go straight to Cris in Fil-Am Select and say, okay, when's the next event? Where can I tune in via live or whatever,
Mhm.
and check out some of these players? So that's really really cool. I think that's going to
Yeah.
be so huge in a lot of kids' lives, and
Yeah.
it's going to inspire kids to work hard, and it's going to motivate them
Yeah.
to take the next step, especially for our Filipino Americans and our Filipinos out here who want to do something big. So that's dope, man. Keep us
Yeah.
in the loop, man. We will do whatever we can
Yeah.
to support it too as
Yeah.
well.
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir. And then the
100%.
fact that what he's doing is like doing like all the visa stuff, all the dual citizenship and stuff like that. You don't hear none of that. Like, what I'm saying?
yeah,
If you're a basketball player, you wouldn't worry about, like, once you get there, now you guys are educated people about that kind of stuff. You guys are
absolutely,
like, like telling them this what you do, this what happened and stuff like that, man. That's pretty big because like what I said, like no one really tell kids that, like, yo, this what you have to do, the behind the scenes stuff, and you
yeah,
guys are showing that and then
yeah,
educating people about that, man. That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely,
I
Yep.
think we talked to a recent one of our guests, Eric, who said
Mm-hmm.
that was probably one of the things that he didn't know about, and that
Yeah.
it's one of the most important things is that dual citizenship because it
Yeah.
takes a while, and you got to go through a bunch of different avenues in order to get it done.
absolutely,
Yeah. Yep.
So the fact that somebody out there that's going to show these kids how to
Yeah.
do that. So if somebody were watching this right now, Cris, and they were like, this is something I want to do, right? How do
yeah.
I go about coming to you and or your program and finding out more information of how do I start this whole process up?
Well, first, the main thing is just sending us a message, letting us know where you're from, what city you're playing, where you're playing from, and what grade, what age, all the information that we need, so that we can get more information about the child. But the next step is obviously finding the next regional camps. Whether it be ways away from them or local camps that's in the area. And then from there, we really start identifying whether or not you are one of the top players, in the country, And once we do that, we'll identify you on our platform, whether it be the IG platform or the website, or any type of social media that we have, including Twitter or Facebook. But really, the main thing is also keeping us updated with information on, recruitment, any videos that you may have, so that we can just share it to the world. Because that's what it's all about. The social
Yeah.
media is so powerful. So the more information we can get about you as a kid, the more we want to share it. And that's what the platform is all about. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And I have one more question for you, Cris. What do you think the difference is now versus when you were coming up? Like the impact that social media, like you just mentioned it, how much of an impact do you think it has now, versus the outlets that you had previously?
you know what? Back then we didn't have anything, man. We didn't have no phones with cameras that you could, record, and then in 3 seconds you can put it on a social media platform,
Yeah.
whether Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. But now it's like, you know, you can record yourself. You can put it on a tripod while you're at the park, record yourself, talk about yourself, you know, show what you did the other night, maybe even tweak it a little bit by editing it. So with all that, I mean, the kids now these days definitely have an advantage. But at the end of the day, the college coaches or any coaches that are looking at you, they're gonna have to validate that at some point. So whether you're showing some real stuff or stuff that you've edited, you know, I definitely tell the kids be very careful what you do with your video, because it's gonna show when you're seen live, you know, by these coaches. So
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
good tips, man. That's I
Yeah.
I think that kids don't really like back in the day. Like I had a buddy uh, who told me like his tape was held by coaches before, like a physical like VHS, you know. And I think that's definitely like the benefit nowadays is that these kids they have it in their hands, man. That where they can actually they literally have their future in their hands, where they can just promote
Mhm.
themselves and market themselves. But like you said, um, making sure that you're careful about how you
Yeah.
put yourself out there is important too. So that's
Yeah.
definitely some good advice. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I had.
Yeah.
T, we can move on to the next day unless you have something else you want to
Yeah, I
ask.
have
So,
one more question. So, like,
yeah,
do you guys have camps and stuff like that for like kids that can come, like an up and coming kids and stuff like that
yeah.
that can come and?
So right now we are obviously in the midst of this pandemic.
Mhm.
Everything's on hold. We've had camps in LA, San Francisco, Hawaii, San Diego. Now we are in the process of running camps in Texas, Seattle, Alaska, Florida,
Wow.
Chicago, New Jersey, anywhere there's a Jollibee. You know, Jollibee's done our homework on identifying where the heavy population of Filipinos are,
Hmm.
and we really want to set the foot on making sure that we could create an event in those cities
Yes.
and be able to find those best talent. So
Yes.
once we expose the cities and states and countries that we'll be at, then parents and kids can sign up and be part of the events for those regional camps. And if they get invited for the summit, then that's an extra plus to their exposure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's a
nice.
sign. It's not an invite. It's a sign up.
Yeah, so sign up for the
Okay.
regional camps. The
Okay.
summit is where you want
You
to
get
get invited.
invited. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All
Yep.
right. Sounds good, man. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. That's dope. Yep. Yes, sir. You got anything else, Ben?
No, that's it, man. That was dope, man. That like you said, that's a lot of good information, a lot
Yeah.
of great advice. So
Hmm.
I think people just gotta soak it up. Visit the website. Visit Cris here on Instagram at
Hmm.
Fil-Am Nation Select. Get all that information in, man. And if you're a kid out there that wants to go forth, you know, make sure that you stay in the loop, follow them, and see what they look for. You know, see what these people are looking for.
Hmm.
That's important, man, because just like you said with the whole program in itself, you're not redoing the wheel, reinventing the wheel. There's a process in order to be successful, and
Absolutely.
obviously, Cris is one of those guys that knows that process. So big shout out for that, man. Big ups
Yeah.
for that.
Right.
Yep. All right, man. We're gonna go to the game. You guys ready?
Oh, I
Yep.
got my
Let's go.
screen. Oh, hold up. Let me get my movies up real quick. Damn, I had to get my popular movies, basketball movies. I'm
So
ready. All right.
yeah. So this game is called a top five draft. So it's pretty much you draft your top five. We're gonna give you a top. All of us are gonna drop a top five, and
Yeah.
there's a topic, and then we're gonna post everything in social media, and then we'll pick a winner, and we'll announce that winner in the next episode. Whoever wins. So it's
Nice.
All right.
you, me, Ben, and etc. So yeah. So today's top five draft will be on best basketball movie. So
Yeah,
it's
but
your
hold
top
up.
five draft. Yeah.
Who won the shoes?
Oh yeah, you know what, man? I was gonna do that at the end.
Oh, okay. All
When we
right.
do
My
our
bad.
shout
My bad.
out.
It's your show. My fault. It's your
Yeah.
show. My fault.
I was gonna do it at the end, but all right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna snake the draft. So you're gonna go first, Cris. Then Ben will go, and then I'll go last, and then I'll go again, Ben, and then you get. So we'll snake the draft. So go ahead.
All right.
What's your number one draft pick for best movie, basketball movie?
For me, above the rim.
Man, that's a
Above the
good one.
rim.
Damn.
Damn.
Hold on, let me scratch. Damn. That's
Get
the
on my list.
first movie. Wow, above the rim. It came out
Pocket there,
punching.
man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Sheesh. All right, Ben, what you got?
I'm gonna go Sunset Park.
Oh,
Sunset Park.
shorty.
Sunset
Yes,
Park.
that
What
part.
time
What
is it?
time is it? Yeah. Boy, we going old school, huh? We going old school, old school. All right, so I'm gonna go. I got two. My first would be he got game. Jesus,
Yeah.
he got game. Yep. And then my second pick would be 6 Man. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
6 Man with Marlon Wayans. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. AK all the way. Yes, sir. That one. So that's third.
All
You,
right.
Ben. What's your number two?
All right. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so oh man, above the rim is taken. So
I know that's first
shady.
one down.
I knew
It's
somebody was gonna take it.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
knew somebody was gonna take it. So I went Sunset Park. I'm gonna go with Coach Carter. I like Coach Carter, man. I watched it a couple times. Whenever it
Ooh,
comes on, man, I'll be watching it.
damn.
Whenever it comes on, I'll be watching it, man. So I'll watch the whole thing. Yeah, I'll go with Coach Carter.
All right, you got Chris. You got two picks.
You know what? I gotta say the Hoosiers, man. The Hoosiers.
Oh, we
Ooh,
going
that's a
old
good one.
school.
That's
That's
a
an
good
old
one.
school movie that I think every kid should watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially because I can recall they didn't have the 3-point line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right, so
you know, gave them some true value of what the game is all about.
Yeah.
yeah.
But if I could go for a second choice after is Space Jam, man.
Space. Oh, no one.
Oh, that's
Oh,
what
I
I was gonna
forgot
get
about
next, man.
that. Wow. So
No,
he.
you gotta have the Space Jam, dude. I mean,
Damn.
to mix cartoon and live
Yeah.
live characters. I mean, that's something that you know, good game, good movie to watch.
Yeah. All
Oh
right. So
man,
what's
that
your
was.
third, Ben?
Another Space Jam,
Uh,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. What's your third, Ben?
hold on. Damn, man, he took my Space Jam too. 'Cause I told you I used to be
Hey.
at the park, man, pretending the aliens was coming.
Yeah.
Uh, watch our earlier episodes. I admitted to that. Like someday, man, these aliens come, bro. I'll be ready. uh, I'm gonna go documentary. I like the Allen Iverson documentary.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
where he talked a lot about that whole practice comment was
Yeah.
one of the things in that. Just kind of hearing his story and just
Yeah.
how he came his whole struggle the whole way through the journey. I mean, you at that time with that documentary, you never really heard that type of a
Mm-hmm.
struggle, or that type of a journey. I want to say, and I really enjoyed that, and I watched that a couple times for sure. So I'll go with the Allen Iverson
Okay.
documentary.
All right.
Nice.
So Allen Iverson. So I'm gonna go. My third pick would be White Man Can't Jump. It's a
It's a good one.
dope. This is a good one.
Good
Yeah,
one.
Billy Oil. Ooh, White Man Can't Jump. Yep.
Yeah.
And then my next one, I'm gonna go funny. This one, I'm gonna go semi pro. I'm gonna go for it. Hey, semi pro. It's whoo, real. Oh my goodness, that movie funny as hell. Yeah. Yes,
That's
sir.
definitely a good one. Definitely.
Yeah. Who you got? Ben number four.
I'm gonna go with Uncle Drew. I'm gonna throw Uncle Drew in
Uncle
there.
Drew. Oh, okay.
I'm
Uncle
gonna throw
Drew.
Uncle
Okay.
Drew in there. Yeah, it's star studded, star studded. There's some good laughs in there,
Yes.
So I'll go with Uncle Drew.
All right. All right, Chris, finish it up. You got your
You know
last
what,
two.
man? I'm gonna go with something that kind of resembles my whole coaching career. Because every coach dreams of this is, when you walk into a gym, you're like, man, I got to deal with this kid, but at some point, your whole job as a coach is to get them better. But the movie is Rebound with Martin Lawrence.
Oh,
I don't know
Oh,
if you guys saw that one, but
yeah.
yes,
he
yes,
was a
yes,
pro coach, and then he eventually became, a high school coach. So, you know,
yes. Rebound. Oh
yeah.
man,
And
no, but
this one wasn't really a movie; it was more of a show on Channel 4. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
hanging with Mr.
Oh
Cooper.
yeah, yeah.
That was another show, and obviously
That's
it
a
was
good one.
basketball, and just a good sitcom that pretty much kind of related to real life and whatnot. So
That was like one of
Wow.
the only sitcoms I want to say like that had that type of a vibe to it. Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. All right.
All right, your last pick, Ben. And your
Oh
pick.
man, I'm between two right now, bro. It's killing me. Shoot, cause man, you know what? Hoop Dreams is man. That documentary's.
Hey, Hoop Dreams with Booger. Oh, I remember that. Ah,
I'm
that's a
hurt
good
right now.
one. That's a ooh, you
I'm
better
hurt
pick
right now.
one, man.
But then, loving basketball, I ain't gonna hate on that movie, man, because I watched it a couple times.
Oh man.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
That
that's
hit that
I'm
heart,
not
bro.
gonna. That was one. That's my last pick, but you got me. Loving
Yeah.
basketball. Yeah. So
I'm
this a
going.
new one.
Yeah,
This a new movie. Sorry, that's your last pick,
yeah.
right?
That's my last one.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
I got my last. This a new movie. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it came out last year. It's with Ben Affleck. It's called The Way Back.
Oh my God, that was,
Oh, like
Yeah.
I
bro.
just
That
saw
was
it
my.
the other day. That's a good ass movie.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah,
That's it. Let's conclude our draft,
I
man. We're
like
gonna
that, man.
post
That
it.
was a good
We're gonna
draft.
see you win. But hey, for number one draft pick above the rim, you can't go wrong, man.
Oh
You
Yeah.
no, yeah,
cannot go wrong
yeah,
with that.
yeah. You,
Whew.
You know
he
what?
stole
Though?
all of our number one picks.
I'm gonna replace my Mr. hanging with Mr. Cooper, man.
Okay.
You gotta throw in the blue chips. You know,
Oh,
I totally forgot about the life,
bro.
what it takes to be a blue chipper. You know, so
Yeah,
when you
Yeah.
have
Butch
Henry Hardaway,
McRae.
yup,
Butch
Bruce
McRae.
McCray, yup,
Oh my
Shaq,
God,
man,
I forgot about that shit.
that was a movie that really hit home, man, because that's every kid's dream,
Yes.
right? Is to play for college.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you don't know what's gonna come to you, whether it be money or a new tractor or a new home, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that to me was definitely a movie that I'll never forget, man. Blue Chips.
Yeah. Damn. I did
Yeah,
not even think about that.
Yeah,
hanging with Mr. Cooper got kicked to the curb,
Yeah.
yeah,
man.
Hey, I'm not mad though.
Contract
Blue chip.
pulled
Hey,
out. Yeah,
blue chips.
no,
Whew. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. That was
I like
dope,
that,
man.
man.
Hey, that's
That
cool.
was
So
hard. That
yeah,
was tough.
it's tough.
That
There's
was
a
tough.
lot,
The way
but
back was
then
gonna be on my top five. It was
yeah,
gonna be
that way
right
back.
there.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just saw that like what 2 weeks ago or like a
good
week. It
movie.
was on demand. I was like, I don't know watch it, but yeah, that's a dope ass movie. It's pretty
yeah.
Good
dope.
movie.
Yep. But yeah, that's concluded top five. So we're gonna put it up like on social media. We'll get a vote. Whoever wins, we'll announce it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
And let me know, man. I'll definitely throw in some merch out there, on some winner.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Hey,
that's
hey,
dope.
appreciate
Yeah,
that. That's dope.
yeah,
Hey,
that
yeah.
is dope. Yep.
Thank you,
continue
Yeah,
to
sir.
man,
promote
make
the
it
Fil-Am
fun.
Nation. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. You know what? We forgot a start bench cut, man. Ben, you got a start bench cut?
I don't have anything for Star Bench Cut, man, unless
All
we're
right, I'm
gonna
gonna
go
do
with
it
food
this
again.
once. I was gonna go with food this time.
All right, let's do it. Let's
All
do it.
right, so start bench cut. Like we usually have players, but since we're all Filipino, we're gonna go Filipino food. So we're gonna go always lumpia, lechon, or kare kare.
Man, that's I'm gonna have to go with my lechon, man.
Oh
Love,
The
yeah.
show
I
started.
love that
Start.
crispy crunch,
Oh,
especially
that's the
when
best.
it's cooked the right way.
Yep. Yeah. So this your
Uh,
start. Who are you gonna bench?
You know what? Between kare kare and lumpia, man, I'm gonna have to say lumpia.
Lumpia. Okay, you gonna
okay, all
bench
right,
lumpia,
yep.
and then you're gonna
Yes.
cut kare kare.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
But see, kare kare is good, but you have to like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got
And
like
you,
it.
yeah, you have to have bagoong too with it.
And sometimes people miss the balloon, man.
Yeah, you have to have it. Like if you don't have it, I mean, it tastes good, but if you have it, oh, it'll put a top. Yeah, but yeah, you gotta have that. I don't know if you have you had it, Ben?
Nah, nah.
No,
See,
you
that's why
have it.
I'll go
Oh,
same. Yeah, I'm gonna go
oh,
same
bro, you
thing.
gotta
I'll go
add.
same.
Yeah, go ask for a kare kare.
Yeah,
That's good, man. Yeah,
I'm gonna have, yeah,
oxtail. Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, they always have it. I never.
yeah.
Always went for the Denogo one first. Yeah, I went. You know what I'm saying? I went for that lechon, of course. Got to get that the skin and stuff.
Yeah,
Before everybody else chop it all up.
yeah.
So
It's
So
important.
lechon,
well,
yeah, lechon is like it's like a go-to, man. Lechon is
Yeah.
the bomb. Yeah,
yeah.
and you can't go wrong with it. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's even
So,
better if you add the kawale.
oh, the kawali is a lot better than I think. I think that yeah, because
See,
the
now we get
kawali is
hungry. It's
more
about dinner
crispier.
time right now
Yep,
Yeah,
too.
the koala is more crispier
absolutely.
than yeah. Oh man, I know I'm just getting hungry too.
It's dinner
I just
time, man.
barbecued, so
I tried to
yeah,
CC, but I'm about to go get some more. Shoot.
yeah, that's what's up, man. And that wrap up our episode. You know what I'm saying? That was a good one. Thank you for coming out. And the last part of our episode, shout out. If you have any shout out, final thoughts, and everything,
I
go ahead.
definitely I definitely want to give a shout out to all the families out there and all the athletes that have already participated in our regional camps, especially the summit. Another shout out to all the coaches that has partaken in the whole events that we've done over the 8-9 months since we've been up, and also just the people in my circle, man. From my cousin Alex Gabugnat, playing back home in the Philippines, to my guy Coach Rodell Lazan, who's endless work. To people like yourself, man. Big shout out to you guys that are making an impact in a community of Filipinos, man. And whether it's you guys or even guys that has shared Filipino talent, whether it's just people out there talking about it. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's really promoting proud Filipinos, man. And at the end of the day, I think what it's all about is seeing our culture, our people, rise to the top, just like everybody else, and not being afraid, man. Not being afraid of being shy and that you can get turned down or pushed away, because we have the same amount of talent just like anybody else. Like I've always been a bit advocate about is we're all treated equal. I think if you put in the time and the dedication and the execution aspect of it in life, man, definitely it's a big props to those people that are putting the work in. And hopefully one day I could share the whole Kobe life that I was part of, being able to spend some time with him, 3-4 times a week, and just being able to talk about, just the whole, the bigger picture of life, the reflection, the thought process, thinking ahead, being able to execute every angle, and knowing that, what other people are already thinking about, and how you're gonna, execute that in, and that's something that I learned from that man. May God bless his soul, looking down on me, but he was definitely a big piece of, when I started Fil-Am Nation, because I was able to share it to him. But other than that, man, I mean, all love to all the Filipino communities out there, the clubs, the organizations, the leaders, the stakeholders out there, people trying to make a difference, people that are stepping ahead to really pursue entertainment or singing or even athletics, anything, acting. Much shout out to you guys, because it's not about me. It's not about who I am and whatnot. It's just about people, bringing people together. And just to kind of end this, man, I just want to share what this logo means to when I created this. It's actually the outline. It's the outline of the sun ray. So obviously, if you put the sun ray together, this is just a piece of it. And obviously, there's 3 of the stars that are on the Filipino flag, and the ring around it is considered the globe, where every Filipinos are around the world. Whether it be the United States or in Qatar or Dubai or Russia or Germany, wherever it is, whether it be Europe, Asia, wherever they are, man. I definitely give a lot of props to everybody trying to just make a difference for their families, man. Trying to support, because I know what it means when you come from the Philippines, you work abroad, and you're always trying to send money,
Yeah.
So shout out to those people. For me, it's just me, man. I'm just humbled enough to understand that we can only leave something in this world. We can't bring anything with us, and so whether it be $1 or $1 million, the point that I'm trying to make is really just trying to make a difference, in the eyes of young people, and really making, to really inspire them to make a difference, man. Because without people like us doing the things that we do, it's, we won't be able to make any difference. So we have to maximize the time and energy that we have, and really set forth, the understanding of what real hard work is, what we talked about earlier, what defines hard work, right?
Yes.
So yeah, man, I mean, Thank you to you guys. I really do appreciate the time that you gave me to be able to share my story and also what Fil-Am Nation is all about. And it means a lot, man. I know that with the effort that I'm creating, it's definitely going unnoticed. I know when people reach out, whether it be the East Coast or around the world, I really feel that my hard work, it really means a lot, So, but thank you. And obviously, the last advice I would share to the young people: learn Tagalog, man. Dapat marunong kayong mag-Tagalog nga eh. Kasi if
Mhm.
you go to the Philippines, um, you have a better understanding of your culture. Not just the food, but the culture itself. Speaking to your lola and your lolo. Being able to say po. Being able to bless them. That's something that we tend to forget. You know,
Yes.
you know. So yeah, guys, thank you, man. I really do can't thank enough. I look forward to hearing more of your, Coach's Corner. I definitely support it. Anything you guys need from me, definitely reach out. I got some stuff that I want to give to you guys personally, but I also want to give to your viewers that are listening, and also, being part of your your whole contest that you may have. I'm here to give out, whether it be hats or socks or shirts. You let me know. Hey, no questions asked, man. I'm there for you guys. So
Wow.
Oh man, that's big, man.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep.
Man,
Thank you.
man. Yeah, hey,
Yes.
check him out, man. Fil-Am Select, Nation Select on
yes, sir.
Instagram. Fil-Am Nation Select on Instagram.
Yes.
Check
Yes, sir.
him out, man, and hit him up.
Yes.
Let him know. I mean, this dude, what you said, man. I mean, it's so important, man. It's so big what you're doing for the community.
Mm-hmm.
It the impact you're gonna have and that you've had already. I mean, it's just gonna grow
Yeah.
like
Right.
immensely, man. And we can't
Yep.
wait to see it.
I
It's
know.
much needed in our community.
Yes.
Like you said, we just want to rise it. We want to be noticed too. Like our culture
Yeah.
wants to be noticed too.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
the whole reason Tito and I talked about this so many
Mm-hmm.
times before. That's all we want, man. We want to
Yeah.
know. We want people to know that we're here too.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not
Exactly.
some. We're not gonna be quiet no more. The shy Filipinos in the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No
saying?
more.
So you
Yeah.
know what I'm
Nope.
saying? No, we
Yeah.
here. We here. We
Yep.
here to stay. We're gonna
Yes.
show what we got. We got that. We got something for them. Did
Yeah.
you have something to add to that? See, Chris?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're a Filipino business or any type of business, whether it be a cafe or whatnot, hit us up because I definitely want to pay a visit. I want to pay a visit. I want to go live. I want to share your story. I want to be able to share your food, your top coffee picks, whatever it is, whether it be your best dessert. Hey, you guys should have an opportunity for everyone to know who you are, and that's what whole
Wow.
Fil-Am Nation is all about. Is
Love that.
really
Love that.
exposing our
Yes.
community. So,
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
guys.
That is dope.
Thank you, man. And
No.
hopefully we could get you on again
Yeah.
to talk
Oh
to us
no,
more
with
about.
that, hey, definitely, cause that Kobe story, we
Yeah.
everybody. Well, I would love to hear it. Like I
Yeah,
would
I
love to
definitely
hear
want
it.
to share that, man.
Yes.
That's a piece that sticks to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was definitely a big impact to women's basketball because of his daughter. But there's some stuff that I do want to share.
Yes.
Something interesting and people that obviously that people that know me, I'm able to share it, in person. But people out there who are Kobe fans,
That
check
guy.
just the
Huge.
next conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
That
it,
guy.
man. Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, maybe after this, after we get off, we'll set a time, man, Chris.
Yeah,
Because
Mm-hmm.
personally, like Tito knows, man, I every morning, man, that dude's in my ear. Like every morning, like
Yeah.
workouts, 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm just listening for 2 hours straight, 3 hours, and then in the car, before the
yeah,
games. So
Yeah.
100%, man, I really want to get to that story too as well. And I think we're gonna need a good decent amount of episode for that. So
yeah.
if we could set up a time, bro,
Yeah.
man, that'd be a huge thing, and we
Yep.
can even
Time, man.
let people know
Sundays
that
are
that
good. Sundays are good, and I think like you said, you're gonna air it on Wednesday, and so it'll be a good evening for us to just kind of
Yes.
chit chat and just talk about Kobe. So
Yeah.
Let's do it,
Yeah.
man. All right,
yeah,
Yeah.
we all set a time. Stay
Yes, sir.
tuned, man. If you're watching on
Yeah.
Instagram right now,
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
tuned. I
Stay
know all
tuned.
y'all are Kobe fans. You can't not be a Kobe fan. All right, so don't even go there. Rest in peace to the
Yes.
greatness, man. But
Yes, sir.
uh, I can't wait for that, man. I really,
Yeah,
really
me
do. So
too.
stay
Yeah.
tuned for the time. Stay tuned
Yeah.
for the place, and we gonna. Well, you already
Yeah.
know it's gonna be. So we're gonna
Yeah.
have that going. But I'll let
Yes.
Coach
thank
Tito
you.
over here
Yes,
get his
sir.
thing,
You know
do
what I'm
his thing.
saying? I just want to give a shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for coming on, like educating men. Everything that you just said is just crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can take this whole episode and just like listen and educate yourself by just listening to it. Everything that you said, like the behind the scenes and stuff like that, growing up, playing basketball, like, doing the steps that you took to become where you at right now
Yep.
is just crazy. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for sharing that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to you,
And
man.
real quick, so I know that background look clean now, but he knows how to do the virtual background. So next episode when you see him,
Oh
he
yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
have something special behind him. I already know.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
Fil-Am Nation.
Yeah, it's gonna be something different, right? Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
stay
sir.
tuned.
Yeah. You got a shout out, Ben? For
Man, just a big shout out to again Fil-Am Nation Select. Obviously, everybody that's involved with that whole program. I do want to give a big shout out to Silicon Valley Panthers. I had the opportunity to go to the tryouts and participate, and it was a real fun experience. Definitely an eye opener at 36 years old, being able to get out there. There was a dude out there that was 40, and he was getting
Wow.
buckets too. He was out there putting in work. So it was a lot of fun, man. Being able to do that. And I think one of the most important things that, especially Cris was getting to, is that there's a lot of opportunities out there as long as you're doing the right things. And it's just important that you have some type of a structure, but then you have that motivation, you have the hard
Mhm.
work, and you have the idea of what that all means behind it.
Yes.
Yes.
So. Yeah, big shout out to you, Cris, for just cementing that message. Um, and again, nothing but love and much luck to everything you're doing. And I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see what you do with it. And yeah, we're gonna have you on again soon, if not
Yes,
next
sir.
Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Let's do
we're
it,
gonna get
man.
you
Yeah.
on here as soon as
Yeah.
possible. So
ASAP, ASAP,
yeah,
because everybody need that Kobe story, man. That
all
Kobe
need it,
story is
man.
gonna just like
Some good stuff,
I'm,
man.
yeah, we're gonna get everybody excited for it. You know what I'm
Yeah, we're
saying?
gonna
So
amp it up, man. So it's gonna be great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying? I got one shout out. Like I want to let everybody know, I am Mac won the draft that we had last week. The best basketball shoes through hoop thing. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So guess one, hole zero. Like, we're gonna keep a
Damn.
tally on it and see what happens. So yeah, shout out to I am Mac from last week's episode, man. He won the draft. So yes, sir. And then one more thing, I have a shout out. So it's a Filipino owned business. It's not a, it's like he does it on IG and stuff like that. And it's a local in Fremont. His name is Rich Kiamco. And that's one of our boy Ben. You know Rich
Yeah,
and stuff
Rich.
like that.
Yep.
We play basketball with him. And he does sisig burrito. He calls
Oh
sisig
wow.
burrito, and then he does sisig tacos. And I tried that shit yesterday. That shit's the bomb. That shit was hella good. That shit was good. So go follow him on Instagram. It's at Flavor Smack. Flavor Smack. Yeah, I think it's Flavor Smack. So we're gonna post it. We're gonna tag him and stuff like that. So yes, Cesar Grito, tacos and stuff like that. Local in Fremont. If anybody listening or watching this around Fremont, go check him out and stuff like that. Filipino owned business. You know what I'm saying? Support local.
Agreed.
So yes, sir.
Oh,
And that shit is
okay.
good. Yep.
Damn. All
Yeah.
right. It's gonna be a problem.
Oh man, it was
Add some growth hormones in those, please. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
bro.
Rich a big dude. I know he had
Yeah,
some.
yeah. And it's like everything is like handmade, like from the taco shell, from like everything pretty much. He did
Oh,
it himself. Yeah, so it's
shout
pretty
out.
good,
Love that.
and it was good too. So, yep. Shout out to
Stay
him for
tuned.
that, man. Stay tuned. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. All right, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up.
Thank
Deuces.
you,
All
Thank
guys.
you
right,
for
dude.
coming on.
Thank you again,
Yes,
see.
sir. Yep.
Yes, sir.
That episode 2 coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
That
yeah,
episode
let
part
go.
2.
Kobe.
Yes, sir. Kobe. Yep. All right,
Uh,
Chris. Thank you
Thank you, guys.
again. Yep. Shout out to you. See you later.
dudes.
Deuce.